This topic is one that I'm excited to talk about because this is a topic that I was first introduced to when I was in college, and at that time I thought it was a strange topic, and then over the years it's been reinforced and reinforced of what a great option it is for many lovers, and that is individuals who are in relationships, sometimes married, sometimes dating, who choose to sleep in separate bedrooms. Hi, I'm David Essel. Now, back when I was first introduced to this concept, I thought it was a little weird. You know, in college, there were some people I knew that were dating, and they actually lived in a house with a bunch of other people, and so at first they said they were sleeping in separate bedrooms because that's how the house was divided up, but then later we found out they were doing it out of convenience. And I thought it was kind of weird. I thought it was strange that two people that are dating and in love would be sleeping in separate rooms in the same house. I couldn't really understand it. And a short period of time after that, one of my best friends in college, I found out through talking to his mom, she brought it up one day about how her and her husband had slept in separate beds for the longest period of time. And I thought, oh my gosh, now there's two people, I was obviously very young at that time, two people I'm introduced to early on in my life that are saying it's okay, that even though they love each other deeply, that they just aren't able to sleep together. And over the past 20 plus years of doing this work, this has come up more often than people want to admit in society. Now, you're probably not going to hear people talking about this at cocktail parties or birthday parties or Christmas celebrations, that yes, I'm deeply in love with my wife or my husband or my boyfriend or my girlfriend, whatever it might be. And yeah, guess what? We haven't slept together in years. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, what is this all about? Well, it came to a head not too long ago when I was working with a couple, and I actually did a little briefing on this in another video, but I'll go into the full story, where this woman I had been working with for a couple weeks came in and said, I really need to get this together with my boyfriend. He wants to come in. He really wants to come in and talk to you. And so I said, absolutely. So we came in and sat down and talked, and the very first thing that he said is that, you know, David, I know that people have different little quirks in their personality, and my girlfriend really rocks, except I want you, here we go, to convince her that a really healthy couple should be sleeping together, not in separate rooms. So we got into this intense conversation, and I started asking him questions like, you know, or do you feel that you fulfill her needs intimately? And he said yes. And I said, what about socially? And he goes, oh yeah, I think so. Now you guys are a great match in regards to your future dreams. And he said yes. And he's answering all these questions, and I could see my client with this huge smile on her face. And then I got to, what percent would you say your relationship with your girlfriend is fulfilling? And he said 90%. And I said, so 90% of the relationship is fulfilling, and what's that 10%? And he goes, that she doesn't want to sleep with me in bed. She'll make love to me, and then she'll leave the room and go to sleep in another room. And if we're at my house, she does the same thing. And if it were at her house, she does the same thing. So now I could see her getting a little uncomfortable, and I turned the conversation to her, and I said, honey, why do you think that this is something within you? And she said, David, it's been like that for as long as I can remember. And so then I turned back to her boyfriend and said, does she nurture you? And he goes, oh my God, she's amazing. So I was asking him all these questions, and so finally at the end, I said, go ahead, why don't you say a few words to end our session here today? And so the young woman spoke, and she looked at him directly in the eyes and said, you know, I love you so much, but if 90% of this relationship is a positive, and that you can't accept the 10% that doesn't work for you, then maybe we shouldn't be together. And I said, oh my gosh, like, this is a woman who over the weeks had come in and said to me, you know, I think I found this great guy and I don't want to lose him and I'll do whatever it takes. And here she was sitting in her own power. It was unbelievable. And so now we look at, well, what are the reasons why some couples or some individuals may choose not to want to sleep all night long with their partner and still be madly in love with them? You know, sometimes it's a sensitivity to sleep. Very light sleepers might even be able to feel the slightest movement in bed, which wakes them up, and it makes them cranky and irritable. In her case, it's been like that. That was the whole reason that she didn't want to sleep with any of her lovers, is that no matter how deeply that she thought she was in a sleep, the minute they got up to go to the bathroom or that they moved or whatever it might be, is that her sleep was totally interrupted. She couldn't get back to sleep. So she learned that she just had to set a healthy boundary. Now, other people say because my partner snores. Some other couples I've worked with, it was because of the fact that one of them had to get up really early in the morning, or the other one came in in really late at night because of work schedules. So, you know, there's nothing wrong, and here's the whole point of this video that I'm doing for you today, that we need to find what works for us. The last story I'm going to tell you came, and this is after I started working with couples that were struggling with this concept of sleeping together in the same bed all night long, and that they felt pressure. You know, like they would say, a normal couple, a healthy couple, a couple that really loved each other would sleep in the same bed all night long. And that's not necessarily true. One of the greatest stories I ever read was through the Associated Press, and they were talking about this couple that had been together for 60 years, and they had almost divorced many, many times early in when they first got married, and it was because of this sleeping arrangement. And they felt so much pressure from society, they felt so much pressure from their friends when they were saying that they were having a hard time sleeping together. So one was sleeping on the couch, and this is when they first started dating, and they didn't have enough money to rent an apartment with 2 bedrooms. And over the years, they got so comfortable with it that they eventually bought a house, and one lived on one floor and one lived on the other. And they would get together for meals and to make love and all this kind of stuff, but they were just truly independent beings. They needed more downtime, alone time, for their reading, for their hobbies, for their crafts, and yet they were madly in love. And I loved reading that article. So I want you to just think about this, is that those things in relationships that some people call deal killers really aren't, especially like with the young couple I talked about, where he said, oh my God, she fulfills 90% of an amazing partner, an amazing lover. And then her response was awesome. Well, if 90% isn't enough, then maybe we shouldn't be together. Be flexible. If one of you has a really hard time sleeping, if one of you has a different night shift or a day shift, and it's okay to sleep in separate beds as long as the core of the relationship is powerful. If you're struggling with this or any other type of relationship issue, contact me at talkdavid.com. For many, many years, I've been helping couples get it together. And if you're single and trying to figure out your quirks and those things that work for you and don't work for you, let me know. We can help you with that too, all at talkdavid.com. Don't forget to share this video. If you have friends that are struggling, or maybe you have a partner that doesn't understand your need, your quirks, share this video with them so that they can get a better understanding that it's okay. And don't forget to sign up for our YouTube account right here so all of our videos go directly to your account through the YouTube system, okay? Have an awesome day. Bye-bye.